The Lebanese have had their diaspora. So, there are more Lebanese outside Lebanon than in Lebanon. And many of them are still coming back to the country and leaving the country. And there's always this transition of people coming and going all the time to this country. Arabic mixed with French and English is a very important part of the Lebanese identity. We're trying to discover our identity, we're trying to fight it through, we're trying to resolve issues around it. Are we Arabs? Are we Europeans? Are we Mediterranean? If you do a building as an architect, you wouldn't necessarily know to which identity it belongs. But the surrounding of the building creates the identity for the building itself.
Okay, ready? Rolling.
Like for me, I don't believe in identity. I don't think these things are real. Sexual identities are socially constructed. Gender identity is a fiction. Your race doesn't mean anything. Your national identity doesn't mean anything. These things, like if anything, they suggest a political affiliation, at which point I think people should be free to do whatever they want with that. And I think when you speak about these things, you're sort of addressing a kind of social entry point. Like when you say, I'm an Arab, it's something social, it has a social function or a political function. Otherwise, there's nothing true about it. I can't allow myself the assumption that if I were to fall back on an identity, it would justify any of my behavior. When I say I'm Lebanese, all that means is that I grew up in Lebanon. This is the passport I have, and this is a sort of the political institution that I operate under. But it doesn't necessarily mean I approve of it. Doesn't mean I should approve of it.
I have had an issue with my Lebanese identity. I didn't know what it meant to be Lebanese. I was from London, and then 10 years in LA. I was a California girl who had this slight English accent, who apparently was from the Bukra Valley. I didn't understand the society. I do understand it very well now, appreciate it and love it. I didn't understand it at the time. I didn't understand what it meant to be from a specific area or to be from another area. I didn't know what it meant to be Muslim or to be Christian. I didn't understand why people judged you according to where you came from. In 2006, it had been like 5 years that I lived here when the war broke out. That's the first time I felt I was Lebanese and then I kind of understood the society, because war hit you. I'm sitting in my house and a bridge is blown and I'm thrown from bed, and then there's war, and then we have a company of 100 dancers. 50 of those are foreigners. We have to get them out. It's this panic, and then you realize, I don't want to leave this country.
Identity. Is there a Lebanese identity? Of course, there are common denominators. So yeah, we must have an identity that was influenced by the common experiences we've lived. Probably the war, that feeling of insecurity, that feeling of wanting to live the maximum, not knowing what's going to happen the second day, that feeling of detachment, maybe. Lies are common denominator. We always see that the negative is outside of us and we don't look at ourselves. We love to say that we don't belong, but we are, and we're better, we're the exception. All Lebanese people feel they're always an exception. Their story only happens to them. Their problem only happens to them. Like no one has ever lived my experience. I'm a special case.
بالنسبة للهوية اللبنانية، إذا عم تسألينا إذا الهوية اللبنانية تركيبة صارت عبر التاريخ تدخل فيها كمية عوارض خارجة عن لبنان.